Hello everyone, welcome back to Naomi's Bookshelf. Today we're going to do another round of TBR Clue. So TBR Clue is my fun way of picking books for my reading of the month. I pick prompts that I put on rooms, which then reveal cards. And I have a playlist that show all the rules every month. I will link the playlist for you if you want to check out my progress throughout the year. I have been doing this since January and I have been really enjoying it. So as per usual, we start at the very beginning of the video talking about how I did with last month's prompts and if I can guess correctly the reveal of this last month's round. So in the hall, I had to read a book with a character's name that starts with the letter N, and I read Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. For the lounge, I had to read a book club book, and I read Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. For the dining room, I had to read a book with a Clue character-like name, and I read Love and Olives by Jenna Evans Welch. For the kitchen, I had to read a romance, and for that one, I read Roses for Mama, Roses for Mama by Jeanette Oak. For the ballroom, I had to read a book that was like the library room in the board, and I read Long Lost by Jacqueline West. For the conservatory, I had to read a TBR vet, and I read Salome, I'm probably butchering that again, by Oscar Wilde. For the billiards room, I had to read a book that matched my outfit, and I read The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. For the library, I had to read a book that matched the kitchen in the board game, and I read Stay With Me by Becky Wade. The main character in that one is the chef. And for the study, I had to read an actual library book, and I read March Book 2. This is a graphic novel memoir series. So my official guess for this envelope here is Colonel Mustard with the knife in the billiards room. I should have it all right because I revealed every room, which was potential wrong. So here it is, the billiards room. The next one is Colonel Mustard. And the last one, which should be the knife, is the knife or the dagger in this new set. So perfect, no punishment. I'm very thankful for that. We're going to set up the new board now. There we go. We'll do it on the board now. So for the first prompt in the hall, we got holiday book. I have neatly typed them all up now. And for this one, I'm going with my first booktube spin, which is Orphan Train Christmas. I don't remember who the author is of this one, but all I know is that it's a Christmas book. When I typed up this prompt and when I actually originally wrote it, I just meant any holiday. It could have been a Christmas book, or it could have been, I don't know, St. Patrick's Day holiday. It could have been any holiday, but I figured this would be a good time to put in my booktube spin. I also want to clarify if someone's new here and hasn't gone back that these books are very optional. I can switch them out at my will. So this is just whatever I feel like at the moment, but I do think this might be a good time to try for my booktube spin book. I will link that video down below if you're interested in what the other booktube spin book was. But this one is distinctly a Christmas book as opposed to just a wintry book. So all I know is this one's about orphans and it happens at Christmas, and online, even though this isn't the first book in a series, everyone said you could read them out of order. For the lounge, we got Rope, and I managed to fit in one of my nonfiction November books, which was a very fun video to film. And I had a stack of books that I was unable to fit in. So you should check out that video. I'm not going to tell you what books I did not fit in. But one of them that I did was Robin Hood by David Baldwin. I figured he might have been hung if he was caught, but also to all my memory of the Disney movie and all of the lore about him, he seemed to be tying people up a lot. So I'm going with that. I also talked about in one of my more recent videos how I'm not feeling books lately, so I'm gonna try just to work the prompts. And this one is up to interpretation. So Robin Hood's going in here. This one's a nonfiction about who Robin Hood could have actually been, and the man behind the legend, essentially. So I'm excited to get to this one. So for the dining room, we got Lounge, which is about the room in the board. And for this one, I'm going to go with like spending time with your family kind of angle. And for this one, I'm reading a NetGalley arc as NetGalley November is also going on. I've kind of looked into it, and I'm just going to be reading some of the NetGalley books that I have. And this one is actually a nonfiction book as well. I only have 2 nonfiction NetGalley arcs that I have never read, so I'm gonna get to this one. So this one is called Tracing Your Scottish Family's History on the Internet, and this one's by Chris Patton. I am Scottish, and I was interested in this book originally. It came out in 2020, so it's back, and it's also one of the first NetGalley arcs that I have never gotten to. There's one behind it as well, but it's one of the first ones. So I figured I should get to this one. It was pretty short, and I figured family time, spending time in the lounge, and it's about your family history, so it works. So in the kitchen, we had the 1900s, and this is a book published in the 1900s, or that's my aim at the very least. And actually, the Agatha Christie book club that I'm a part of online and my in real life book club have merged. So accidentally and wonderfully for me. So we're both reading The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. So perfect. This is my Agatha Christie book of the month. And because I am really struggling with reading in general, I'm not going to commit to the Read Christie 2021 project for this month. If I get to it, I don't even know what the prompt is right now. I will read it, but I'm going to be reading this one as this is the book. So I don't remember what year this is published. I honestly haven't done much research, but this is her 5th book published, and I'm excited to get into it. I have read it before, so I know it's a good one, and I'm just so thankful that both my in real life and online book club are reading this one for the same month. For the Ballroom, we got Christian fiction, and this one is where another NetGalley arc is going to come into play. I bought the book before it, but I have the arc for the next book after it. So I have not read Until the Mountains Fall by Connellan Cassette, and I need to read this one before I get to the arc that I have, which is the, I don't know, 4th book? 4th book. Which I don't remember the title of, to be honest, but I'll put the picture here. So if I get to the arc, that'd be wonderful for NetGalley November, but this is the one I need to read first. And this is a biblical fiction about the cities of refuge, and I think I put this on a couple TBRs in the beginning of the year, and I just never got around to it. I had started it, but I don't have a bookmark in here, so I need to restart it. Yeah, just a biblical fiction about the time in the Judges, so Old Testament history. And I was enjoying this series a lot, so I need to get back into it. So in the Conservatory, we got Conservatory, which for me, that would mean something garden-like or maybe plant-like, but perfectly enough, one of my nonfiction November books from that TBR video has a very garden-like cover, so I'm gonna go with that. And that would be Women and C.S. Lewis. So this one is edited by Carolyn Curtis and Mary Pomfrey Key. And this is an essay collection about C.S. Lewis and how he talks about women in his books, from what I understand. I don't know much more, but I'm excited to read it for the Conservatory prompt. So this garden scene looks very much like a conservatory to me. In the billiards room, we got pre-1800, so this is a book that's like a really old classic, and I put this prompt in because of Ancients-a-thon, which was really fun, and I really enjoyed reading ancient literature. So I decided that because I wanted to do a timeless tome that was nonfiction, I looked up some classic nonfiction that are bigger than 5,000 or 500 pages, not 5,000. And I found one that is an ancient Greek tome, or is it Roman? I think it's Roman, but it's called The Histories, and it's by Herodotus. I'm not sure. The cover's here. I found it free with my Audible membership, and it's like 30 hours long. So I'm hoping I can listen to it throughout the whole month, but at the very least, I'll be listening to something or reading something. I could also do The Art of War. I do want to do a nonfiction for this one particularly, but it'd be nice if it was over 500 pages for my Timeless Tome episode. So yeah, this one hopefully will be The Histories by Herodotus. I'm butchering that name. I'm so sorry. But anyways, this one sounds like it's about the ancient Greeks and how they like to fight a lot in like the 5th century. That's all I know. But it sounds interesting, and it sounds like everyone who has read it sounds like they seem to like it. So I'm excited. For the library, we got more than 500 pages, which would be wonderful for this prompt, but I don't double up in this game. So I was really struggling, and then I remembered that I am buddy reading Kings of the Wild with Stephanie from Amsith Reader. So this is wonderful because it's 502 pages, and it's a high fantasy, or is it epic fantasy? I don't remember. I heard about it first from Cody, and I really enjoyed it, or really enjoyed hearing about it, I should say. And I started it, and I never really got too far in, but I was enjoying what I was reading. So I'm excited to continue on. This one is about 3 or 4, I think it's 3 older men who were like in charge of, saving the day essentially. And then they all have to go back into it after retiring because they have to save one of the men's daughter. So I'm excited to read this with Stephanie, and hopefully it'll be a really good time. I'm really thankful it's 502 pages. Yeah, I have it on my Kindle, so it's also nice that it's an ebook, and I'm excited. So for the last room, which is the study, we got Ballroom. And for that one, I am putting in one of my nonfiction November books again. And that would be The Fall of Anne Boleyn by Claire Ridgway. I am putting this one in because I'm figuring, if I remember my history right, Henry VIII saw Anne at court and he fell in love with her while she was dancing. And what do you do in a ballroom except for dance? So I'm going with that. This one is intriguing to me. It's counting down the hours to her execution, and I'm excited to pick it up for that reason. I think it'll be great, and it's not that long. It's pretty exciting to me, this idea, and I love the cover too. It's not a typical boring cover. So, yep, very excited to find out what happens during this time period with Anne Boleyn. So even though I said I'm not, doing great with reading, I still have some more books I need to read. So these are actual priority ones, mostly. One of them that's definitely a priority is A Test of Wills by Charles Todd. I'm doing a book club with a bunch of lovely people, some people from BookTube, some people from not. Kate Howe has put on this book club, and we're starting to read this series, the Ian Rutledge series by Charles Todd, who is a mother-son writing duo. I have read some books in this series, but I've never read them in order. So this is book 1. I have not read it, and it's nice and short, so I think it's going to be lots of fun. I think it'll be a fast read too, so I'm excited to read this one. One book that I'm really hoping to read, I keep trying to read books for this book club, but my brain is just really not able to compute physical books lately, so it's really falling on the wayside, is A Gentleman from Moscow is this book's club's book. Anyways, this one's by Immortals. I actually previously owned this one, but it's really big. It's 430 pages, and I am not scared of big books, but it's really scary when my eyes don't want to read physical books. So this one is about a man who's stuck in Russia. It's historical fiction from 1930 or 22, from all I understand, and I've heard great things about this, but I just am wondering if I can actually get to it. I couldn't get to the Glass Castle or Glass Hotel last month. I haven't been able to get to the last few months of books because of my migraines, so here's hoping I can get to this one. The other book that I do need to read is The Red Breast by Jo Nesbo. This one is the 3rd book in the Harry Hole series. I don't know anything about this except for the fact that I am reading it, and it's going to be a Harry Hole book. I'm buddy reading this with Berna and Nikki. I will link their channels down below. We read book 2 all together before, and it was so much fun to discuss theories, and I'm excited to read book 3 with them. So we will be reading that one throughout the month very slowly, which will be very nice. So hopefully it'll be a fun time reading that one as well. I can't imagine it not being fun. So aside from that, I do have some nonfiction books that I mentioned in my Nonfiction November TBR, and I would like to mood read a little bit just because that seems to be best for me when I don't really want to read books. But honestly, it's just going to be me maybe trying to prioritize NetGalley books, maybe trying to just have fun. But I do just want to enjoy my reading as opposed to forcing myself to read. So this is going to be an adventure, and I hope it'll be good. Hopefully December I'll be able to figure out what the things are, but if not, I'm not gonna be mad at myself. But anyways, let's see what the game board shows us next month. Please let me know down below in the comments what you think of any of the books I've picked, and also what you're reading for Nonfiction November, if you're doing NetGalley November, or if you're doing Belie-a-thon. I had hoped to pick a middle grade just to participate low-key. Let me pick one now. You know, I did get an ARC that is high, like upper middle grade and lower YA, so I'm gonna just put this in here. It's my first ever physical ARC that I've received, so thank you so much to the author, Shirley Riva Venick. And this is Ripped Away. It's very short, and it is like a time traveling middle grade. So I'm very excited to read this one, and hopefully I can get to it in November so I can participate in Belie-a-thon. There's so many fun ones that are happening. This would also work for Historathon. Like I said, so many things. But I'm excited for November. Hopefully a new month with a new board will inspire me with reading. So please let me know down below what you're reading and what you're doing in the month of November. Also, please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you are new here, and hit that notification bell if you haven't yet, and I will see you next time in another video. Bye for now.